Won't it be Ryan the Great? And today, we're finally back on videos. It's been like, since Wednesday since we uploaded a full video? I know I uploaded a short yesterday about Garner Johnson. I am so mad about that. We're going to get into Eagles free agency in a future video, but today we are talking about, we'll talk about free agency, but we're talking about the top 5 free agents left remaining in free agency, right? NFL free agency right now. So, a lot of the bigger free agents have gone off the board, but these 5 guys right here, I think are the 5 best left. And some of them, they are kind of, guys that teams are not looking at that, should be getting looked at right now. But we're going to get right into it. But before we get right into it, guys, make sure you subscribe with the post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother Liam the Great Blogs. Make sure you go subscribe to my second channel at Ryan the Cod Great. And make sure you follow me on Twitch at Ryan the Great Podcast. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the video. So starting off at number 5, we have Dalton Schultz. Obviously played for the Cowboys last year. And now I know when you say knee injury, he only did miss 2 games from that, and he is pretty durable. Other than that, I mean, only missing 2 games to a knee injury for a tight end, I think it's actually pretty solid. But he had a great postseason performance, 12 catches, 122 yards, and 3 touchdowns in 2 total games. He's great on play action. He gets a lot of yards after catch, and he is pretty fast for a tight end. I think Dalton Schultz, I don't know if he could be, the top tight end on a championship team, but on a playoff team, I think he can be the top tight end there. So I'll take him at number 5. At number 4, I'm going to take DJ Chark. Now, putting him over Dalton Schultz might be a little bit of a, might be going a little too far. But, I mean, his durability is a question. In 2021, he only played 4 games, and this year he only played 11 games. But in the 11 games he did play, he had 30 catches for 502 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he averaged 16.7 yards per catch. He's a great receiver to play in the X spot. He can moss anybody, and with that 6'4" frame, he can run, he can jump, and he really doesn't need to jump that high just because of that 6'4" frame. I'll take DJ Chark at number 4. Now I can't really say his name too well. He played for the Colts last year as an edge rusher. Yannick Ngoku. I think that's how you say his name. I'm going to stick with that, but you guys probably know who I'm talking about. I know he's not a great run defender, but he's a great pass rusher. He had 9.5 sacks last season. His hand usage, right around here, is unbeatable. Very explosive. I think he could help a team like Tampa Bay. I feel like that could be a good destination because they do have a good run defense, but they're not so good on the pass rush. He had 9.5 sacks last season. The year before that, he had 10 sacks. He really does look like a future Pro Bowler in this league. And once again, I feel like a team like Tampa Bay would be a good destination for him just because, they're lacking on pass rush. I'm sure they would pay him a nice bit amount of money, but a team, that might not have the best run defense, doesn't have to be Tampa Bay, but that's just a good example. A team with, good run defense, but not so good pass rush, I feel like could help, Yannick get to somewhere where he can thrive. So, and at number 2, we're going to take Bobby Wagner. Now, he might be a little bit on a decline. He's lost a little bit of his explosiveness, his speed, which might not help defending the run. But once again, if you can get on a team, just like I said for Yannick, if he can get on a team that is good on the run, but not so good with the pass, then I feel like he could thrive there. But he still has a high football IQ. He has great awareness, one of the smartest players in the NFL right now. He can still help a contender. And it's not like he's a bum. He had 81 solo tackles last year, 140 total tackles, 6 sacks, and 2 interceptions. His 6 sacks, I'm pretty sure, was a career high. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. But the only reason he really got cut is because he was being paid, as one of the highest linebackers in the NFL on the Los Angeles Rams. And the Los Angeles Rams have one of the biggest have one of the biggest salaries in the NFL right now. They had to dump some of their salary off their defense. They kind of had to start with Bobby Wagner. I'm pretty sure they didn't really want to let him go because he still had a pretty good year. But he could still really help a contender. And maybe on the Eagles, I'm kind of hoping maybe we could slide it there, please. Probably not. With the way Howie's conducting this free agency, it's not going too well. But maybe I keep trying to give a positive look for Howie. Maybe they're just getting rid of the queens so we can get the king. I don't know. We'll see. But at number 1, I think you guys already know who it is. Odell Beckham Jr. OBJ, he might have lost some explosiveness he used to have just because of the ACL injury. We don't really know. But that doesn't really mean he can't be a number 2 receiver on a championship team. Number 1 might be a little bit of a stretch, but number 2 definitely on a championship team. I mean, there's rumors of him going to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers and all that, him being behind Garrett Wilson. I can definitely see that. I mean, Garrett Wilson, Odell Beckham Jr., Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, then you got Breece Hall coming out of the backfield. I feel like that's a great destination. But any other place, you know, he could definitely help a team. Once again, number 1 receiver be a bit of a stretch, but number 2, I really like it. But first he's got to make his physical with his knee injury. We still don't know if he's 100% healthy. The Cowboys, they were kind of like, they really didn't like, I don't know, since he wasn't available to play for the rest of this year, they weren't too happy with signing him, and that kind of like, the deal kind of fell through there. So we don't know how healthy his knee is, so he just has to pass his physical, so we're making sure he can do that. But then you can't tell me he can't do better than 48 catches, 593 yards, and 7 touchdowns, which is what he did with the Rams in the 5 games he was there, not including the playoffs. I remember in the Super Bowl, we all thought he was going to go off right before the ACL injury. I think he already had a touchdown before that. He already had 50 yards receiving, somewhere around there. He was going off, and you can't tell me he didn't do better. He couldn't do better than what he did on the Rams already. He still is Odell Beckham Jr. We still have to remember who he is. He's one of the best receivers. It potentially could be one of the best receivers in the NFL. Once again, a number 1 receiver could be a bit of a stretch, but a number 2, I don't think so. He could definitely help a contender, and maybe if he goes to the Jets, they could be a Super Bowl contender. I don't really know. But that'll do it for this video, guys. Make sure you subscribe with post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother Liam the Great Vlogs. Make sure you go subscribe to my second channel at Ryan the Cod Great, and make sure you follow me on Twitch at Ryan the Great Podcast. And as always, Ryan the Great out. Peace.